Go Live with College of Education. I'm Beth Pesnell, and I am here today with two students who have supported our STEM Summer Institute here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves first. Indigo?
My name is Indigo Bellinger. I'm going to be a junior in music education with an emphasis in voice.
I'm Lydia, and I am elementary education, and I'm going to be a senior this year.
Great. Well, thank you, Lydia and Indigo, for joining me today. So we are here talking about the Summer STEM Institute that K-State College of Ed does in collaboration with the Manhattan-Ogden USD 383. So tell us a little bit about the Summer STEM Institute.
So the Summer STEM Institute is 3 weeks long. Each camp is 1 week segments, so all the students are in a different camp each week. And the ages are like 5th grade to 8th grade, so it's about middle school age. And it's in the mornings from about 8 till noon, and they do a bunch of different activities. Some of the classes include treehouse architecture, vet med, take apart, reimagine, remake, and a bunch of other collaborative hands-on activities.
Okay, so it's in the mornings. So tell us what a typical day might have looked like. Or for you. Tell us what you did, because I know your days looked a little different. So tell us a little bit about what your typical day looked like.
Yeah, of course. So I volunteered to do bus duty, so that means that every morning, so fun, every morning I would drive to Northview Elementary, and I would greet the students in the morning so they had a friendly face first thing when they got there, and then I would ride the bus with the students to Bluemont Hall, and that was around 8:30 in the morning. And then all of the camps had their own little sections on the lawn, and the students would go and find their teachers, and then we would break and go into their classrooms.
Very fun. So I'm guessing that there were probably multiple buses across the district area that bus the students in, as well as parents dropping them off in the mornings, right? Okay, so they've dropped their kids off in the front lawn. So then what would happen, Lydia?
Yeah, so they drop their kids off, we helped them go to their stations. That's when they're kind of rowdy, excited for the days. It was a little bit more chaotic, I feel like at the beginnings, like the Mondays and the Tuesdays, once they kind of formed their groups afterwards, then it was easier for them to find their spots. And then they just kind of broke off and did their own thing. So just depended on the day or what group was doing what. I had the ability to go actually to a different group each day, and I know Indigo was going by weekly. So we had different experiences in that regard in terms of building relationships with students and things like that. So that was cool, but yeah.
So tell me about some of the experiences that you got to have in.
So one of my favorite ones was called Explore Manhattan. That's when we did the field trips. I know one of the days they went to the zoo. The day I went, we went to the radio station, so that was really cool. And they just did different little nature walks, things throughout Manhattan. So I think what's cool about that is STEM can mean so many different things. And so exploring Manhattan maybe wasn't something they knew they were gonna do, but at STEM camp, but they got to do that. So
and so we probably should have told the viewing audience, if they don't already know, what STEM stands for. So what does STEM stand for?
STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math.
Great. So how did students get to explore STEM through Exploring Manhattan?
We were able to integrate it just different questions, I think. And I can't quite remember with that specific one because I was only in that one for a day.
Sure.
I was in another thing called Surrounded by STEM, where we also explored Manhattan, and then they made they explored Manhattan, but then took what they learned and made their own cities based off of their findings. So that was kind of a way that they were able to integrate STEM and engineering with still explore Manhattan and having fun.
Okay. Tell us about some of the camps you helped with, Indigo.
Yeah. So the first week I was in Take Apart, Reimagine, Remake, which was in the Innovation Lab at Hale Library, a really cool space. There's a ton of different things to do there. It's really, really cool, and it's open to the public, so there were lots of people there, and it was really fun. But the goal was for the students to remake some materials that they got, so DVD players and coffee pots and old remote control cars, that sort of thing. So they were taking them apart and reimagining them, like making inventions and stuff. And they were really, really into it. And it was really
Did you see
fun.
any fun, intriguing inventions that you were just like,
Yeah.
wow?
They were all really creative and
Yeah?
really great. One of them was they got to use the 3D printer and like the laser cutters. And this one group 3D printed a little box that had a fan in it. And so when they plugged it in, the fan turned on. And they attached it to wheels, and so it was like a little fan that could follow you around when you're hot out.
Oh,
And so-
nice. We
Yeah.
could all use that every now and then,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So that was really
Fun.
creative, and
Yeah.
it was really fun. I enjoyed
Okay,
that.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 1 week.
So the second week, I was in small houses, big learning. So it was also very hands-on. They got to kind of explore like tiny houses, how you make a house compact with like a small square footage, that sort of thing. We learned about like how to recycle water and using solar panels, that sort of thing, like being energy
Nice.
efficient.
Uh-huh.
And then they got to build their own models. So they were like building furniture and cutting doors and painting, and the products were
And then
the third, the beauty of mathematical art. So I'm a music major, you know, so I wasn't sure how I would, you know, work with that one, but it was really, really interesting. We did lots of angular drawing and then coloring those in and cutting things out. We did a lot of origami, and they loved that. They loved the origami. But it was just a lot of like working, see how math like is in art and how you can work it into your life and that sort of
and
thing.
you know, math is really in music too.
Yeah, it totally
so
is.
I'm sure you made some big connections
did,
that
yes,
way.
yeah.
Right. So when you think back, you just finished. Today was your last day of classes. What are you taking away from this experience? So this experience for the audience, so that they know, served as kind of a practicum of sorts for you guys to get some hours working with students in a setting that way for class. So what are you taking away from this experience? How would this support you as a future educator?
I think that like anything that we can learn STEM wise is like really like cool and useful, because we didn't get that education in elementary, or like I didn't get it in elementary, middle, or high school. I don't know, like I think some people around our age maybe did. But like that's something that like they're getting exposed to so often, and like they can teach us so much from. So I think that's like really something that I took away, that if we just like tune in and like listen to them and like not use technology as a bad thing, and like, you know, can use it for these like little different things, and every single thing that like, or every single like project that was being done, the students like seemed to be having fun. And I think like that's so cool, because even the projects we saw are things we could do in our future classrooms and things like that. So I feel like all of those like little different pieces for our toolbox is really, really cool.
What about you? What are you taking away from the experience?
I think so, kind of like what Lydia was saying, like how STEM can relate to other topics, because I haven't taken very many education classes so far, so I feel like I haven't learned that much about education until this experience. And so just kind of figuring out that I can get out of this box sort of and like tie things in from this experience and from other subjects and do like cross-curricular connections, that sort of thing with music. And also like a big takeaway I had was how to communicate with kids.
Yes.
And like just the connections that I made, I feel like were like really, really important to me. And that was like my main goal this summer, like my personal goal was to like get close to the kids and have them be comfortable with me and like learn how to ask them questions and communicate with them. And I feel like I was able to accomplish that.
That's
and really,
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really happy with my experience.
Connections are so important, and I know you got a different experience with connecting with students than you did, Lydia. And so that's exciting though, and how you made it work, right? Both of you guys.
Yeah.
So they would come in, they would have these classes, and their classes were all over campus, weren't they? So, and Manhattan, right?
Yeah,
they were like all
Yeah,
over.
they were
So,
everywhere.
vet med, they were at the veterinary building.
Hale
They were
Library.
at Hale Library.
Engineering
An
building.
engineering building. Like, so the students also got to experience kind of the campus too, right? And you told me there was something they did that was really exciting, that they all got to go do. Every student got to go experience a very important campus like you must have.
Yeah.
What was that?
So during the second week, all the students and all the classes got to go to Call Hall, and they got little vouchers, and they got to get a free scoop of ice cream.
That's awesome.
And they all loved it. They're running around eating their
course.
ice cream, and
Who doesn't
it was-
love Call Hall?
Right, exactly.
Right?
And we all got to
Amazing.
take a walk, and it was
very fun.
It was wonderful.
I love it. So the campus really comes together along with Manhattan Ogden USD 383.
Yeah.
And a lot of the camp teachers are USD 383 teachers, as well as College of Ed teachers, some teachers from various departments around campus as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think you even said your mother was one of the teachers.
Yes, my mom was a teacher for Treehouse Architecture, which is a really cool camp. I kind of wish I would have placed it.
It was
just-
so cool. I spent a day. I spent one
Yeah,
of the days
it's
with
just the
them. It
projects
was
they
really.
made were so cool.
Yeah, they were
But
into
yeah,
it.
she's a USD teacher,
Awesome.
so that was cool to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So Treehouse Architecture.
Yeah.
Wow, tell me about it.
That so for that group they took like cardboard, like just like miscellaneous objects, all the things, and made the most like intricate and spectacular model tree houses
Yeah.
I'd ever possibly seen in my life. Every single one was different from each other, and like they had no like training, like they had inspo, but like inspo from a real house.
Inspo,
Yeah.
like inspiration.
Inspiration, yeah.
For those of us who
yes,
don't
yes, inspiration.
Okay.
Need some inspiration.
I love
tips.
it.
Like videos playing of like
Okay.
real,
Uh-huh.
like crazy tree houses. And they did a gallery walk at the end and walked through and saw all of
Fun.
them, and they were just like really incredible.
Well, is there a way that we can see all of this amazing stuff that these students did?
yes.
Yes.
How? How do we get to see this?
So there is a showcase tomorrow morning. It starts at 10 a.m. and it goes until 12:30.
Oh my gosh.
And all the camps are going to have projects on display, and all the teachers and all of the K-State students will be there. So parents and the public are all welcome, and you can come and see what they did. And all that
how
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited to
Yeah.
go. And so if you viewers are interested in seeing any of the amazing projects that these students did, you can talk to the students themselves. This is all going to take place in the engineering building, and we are going to host an inaugural speaker series as well, starting at 10 a.m., and we will be featuring Carla Willis. Nope. See, this is why I'm sorry. Cindy Willis Lag. I apologize. Cindy Willis Lag, who is an alum of the College of Engineering here at K-State. And she is going to kick off this showcase for us. And the showcase just happens to fall on, did you know this? International Women of Engineering Day.
Oh, that's awesome. I did
Oh
not
my
know
I
that.
know,
That's
right? How
really
cool
cool.
is
Oh
that?
my gosh.
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll
pretty
celebrate
legit.
that.
Yeah.
I know, right? And I love it because this is, as you said, this is exposing these younger students to all of the different possibilities, things
Yeah.
that they would have never dreamt of before, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to provide the inspo to our students for things that are going to happen in the future that we don't even know are going to exist, right? We are preparing them for an unknown future. And so STEM Institute is really a great way to do that, right? To introduce them to all of that. Well, I am just so excited that you guys joined me here today.
Yeah, thank you for
I'm
having
glad
us.
that, oh man, this is great. I mean, we
Yes.
could probably talk all,
Yeah, we could.
all afternoon about this, but they probably are, don't want to hear it. If other students are interested in doing this, what do they have to do? Students like you guys. What class do they have to be part of in the summer?
Core teaching.
Core teaching. So it's
teaching.
your Block 1A class. Take it in the summer with Dr. Goodson and Miss Myers, right? And you too can participate as helpers in the STEM Institute. So thank you guys again so much
thank
for
you.
being with us, and thank you for joining us on another edition of Go Live with College of Ed. And we hope that you will join us next month when we go live again.